This is the Lost World Roundup, starring my 3 current Lost World jackets. On top is the Suburban. I was doing a video last night, a nighttime video. I don't know if maybe I'll put it in this thread. I wasn't real happy with, it was dark. But when I was getting this jacket out, I was feeling it, and it was just dry. The Suburban was just dry. I felt it before, so I put some Vaseline on it, light coating of Vaseline, and made a big difference in it. It's the Vaseline, I think, dries out a little bit faster than maybe some of the other materials. I'm happy with it. It's endorsed by Good Wear Leather. You know, those guys seem to know what they're doing. The Suburban has the zip and button sleeves. Again, I just don't see that they, you know, they're great when they're open. They're going to give you some venting, but when they're closed, they don't really close up that sleeve as much as I maybe thought they should. So just a personal thing with me. Suburban always gets attention when I show it because I think it has a little more wear. Maybe I wore off all the way, polished off all the wear. It's a great jacket. It needs a zipper, and this is probably, the ounce comes up when you're talking about these jackets. What's the ounce of them? This one is the Roadmaster, and the lightest of the 3 jackets I have here. Talk about which is which. Let me get to maybe the test, which is the heaviest, the next one. This is the test. A test motorcycle jacket is called on the Lost World. I ordered this one new. I was just thinking today, I mean, how old is this jacket? It's probably, I think it's going right on 2 years I've had this jacket, and it's been worn a lot. So it's got some wear, at least as much as I could put on it. It's a heavy leather. When I ordered this jacket from Lost Worlds, it was the test model was fairly new in their lineup. As I recall, it might have just come on while I was looking at Lost World stuff. I don't remember exactly. I think it was a fairly new model for them. So I ordered one. I exchanged quite a few emails with Lost World. I never talked to anyone on the phone. They were incredibly quick at getting back to me on emails within minutes, relevant to what I was doing. We talked about, Stuart and I, the owner, talked about guitar collecting, which we both do, and he has guitars on his website, so we had that discussion. I also got several vests from him. I forgot to show the vest. He had kind of a closeout on some of the vests, and I bought several of them, the Horsehide vest. This jacket, I already had the Suburban I just showed you. So when I ordered this jacket, I said, well, I got a Suburban that's a 44 and it fits. So that's about as far as it went. I think he asked me my height and weight, and that was really about it. I knew his reputation for being able to size up and get people into the right jackets. I believe is true. And in that case, I just went with a 44. The little talk we had about a leather hide was very limited. He said, I think this is a full bore test, is what he called it. He never mentioned ounces or weight or anything like that. The full bore, I assume, meant that this is about as heavy as his jackets are going to get. So I would say this one, if 4 ounces is at max, I would say this is probably over 4 ounces. I would say this one and feel The Suburban is probably the 4-ounce leather. I had a couple of others jackets I sold because they didn't fit, and they shouldn't have fit. They weren't the right size. I learned my lesson on that. So this one, the others were a heavy horsehide, and they were more along the lines of this. They weren't this heavy, and they weren't as light as this Roadmaster. So I guess to me the Roadmaster is probably the 3-ounce, might be the A2. Beautiful leather on this one. Really beautiful leather on this Roadmaster. This is what I would think is the A2 weight. It has an A2 feel. It's really not. This is a 46, so it's a little big for me. And I think about selling it, and I look at it and I go, wow, it's really got some nice leather on it. So I'd say that's probably the 3-ounce, the Suburban the 4, and this is 4+. It's just really heavy. This jacket, when I weigh it, I weighed it. I think when I first got it, it's 10+ pounds. But you know, people are freaked out about the heavy leather. All my jackets aren't that heavy. Obviously, this is the heaviest one. He has a way of making jackets. He's done it for a long time. He's worked with heavy leather. That when you put this jacket on, even though it looks to me big, when it's sitting here, when I get it on, it's very, very comfortable, and it really it fits well. It hangs from the shoulders. It's just a nice feel. He knows what he's doing when he makes these heavy leather jackets. It's just not all about. And as far as protection from the elements, this is the jacket I would go to right here. Bar none, any kind of inclement weather, rain, I won't wear any of the other jackets in the rain except for this one. It's not going to soak through real easily. I won't ride, so I'm not talking about that. But in general use, outdoor wear, this is outdoor wear. This is it. It gives you protection, a sense of security that the other hides just don't. It's a little different in that respect. And it's a good jacket. It's a good leather jacket. They're obviously each not only different size leather, they're different styles. This jacket, Roadmaster, I've seen this very jacket in one of the motorcycle books. I think it was labeled as a Shot or Scott, however you pronounce it. And I actually seen one on eBay was this style. I don't think that Lost World needs, I don't think they're the people that are into copying, or really, I think they recreate some vintage leather motorcycle jackets. This was just like that Shot. Really, the pockets here, very 50s pockets. The snaps here, pocket. Nice jacket. Again, a little big for me. It's got some great patina, not patina, but just some great grain on the leather. If you like leather grain, this one's got it. Really, it does have it in a lot of ways. Everyone likes this, and I conditioned this one, so maybe I conditioned out all the patina. It was dry. It needed it, and it's drying. I just did it last night, and it's actually drying out. The Vaseline done, you know, with reserve appropriately makes that jacket look and feel a lot better. Got to get a zipper in this guy. Again, probably 4 ounce there. probably the 3 ounce there, and the 4 plus probably here in that test. Wanted to bring in a couple of the vintage jackets. Maybe I'll do a part 2 on that. Show you how the Lost Worlds compare to the vintage jackets. And they do, I think they do. I think their leather is as close, I don't think close to the vintage leather, which I don't know, makes a lot of difference to me. I don't know that who's trying to, I don't think they're trying to duplicate anything. They're trying to make it old school, if that's proper. Not everyone likes that, I understand that. But there's been a lot of threads about the Lost World jackets, very positive threads. People like them. They're good. They're going to last. They're more purpose-oriented, I think. Well, that's the Roadmaster. It's got some nice leather on it. Test. Trying to get just a little bit better shot of this leather on these jackets. You can see the graining on that sleeve, you know, down in there. It's just his jackets react like most leather jackets do. They just take longer to react. I think all of his jackets are more different than people want to give credit to or acknowledge that they're not all the same. They're not all exactly heavy and 4-ounce leather. They're just not. Well, I don't want to get this too long. I probably will do a video on the Lost World and throw in some of the vintage hides. I'll do it after this one. I'll close this one up then. Get the test, get them all out there. Well, there's a look at 3 Lost World jackets. Said I'll do part 2. I'll do something a little bit. I'll throw the vintage on a pile and see how they compare. There's your Lost World trio.